Hello YouTube, back once again with the iZombie reviews, and here we are with the season finale, Season 2, Episode 19, Salvation Army, and was this an amazing climax to this season? I don't think how this could have possibly been a better climax anyway. Everything was interesting, because my major issue with the climax to Season 1 was the fact that, what was it, Liv was kind of like thrown to the side during the climax, like against like Blaine and his group, because like it was Major just shooting those guys up while Liv was just doing another case of the week kind of thing, and while that was going on, and then she didn't show up until the very end when she saved Major. But I was still like, God, I really wish she was part of the climax. But she's right in the middle of the action this season. So is everyone else, and it is an amazing climax. The main two plots to happen this season. Well, one, there is the plot line that Mr. Boss ends up learning that Blaine is still alive, and his drugs trade of Happy Use, though it's called whatever it is, the Utopium, is still up and running. So then he sends his hitmen to go kill Blaine and his men for good, and they kill the guy with the eye patch. The other guy is able to survive though, because he gets the hitman to shoot him in the chest instead of the head, and Blaine ends up just fleeing to Robbie and Peyton's, no, not Robbie and Peyton, just Peyton and Liv's place, and just Robbie happens to be staying there. I was happy to see those two finally got together, Robbie and Peyton, just for the fact Robbie deserves something good for all this shit he gets constantly thrown at him. I was happy to see that, but then Blaine leaves. I still don't know. Does he know he has any memories of his past, or has he forgotten everything? I don't know at the moment, because what happens is Mr. Boss's men kidnaps Peyton, so Ravi and Blaine go after her, and this all led to a really cool climax when Blaine's worker, whatever, the guy got shot in the chest is gone. Donnie was that his name, whatever it was. He's gone, so that's a that's a card left that will probably show up again next season, and but anyway, they go to Mr. Boss's place to try to bring him down, which led to a pretty funny scene in which when just Blaine was just like, okay, you stay here, I'm gonna scout the place, and then Riley's like, are you sure you don't want me? And then Blaine's like, well, I was thinking about using you for a human shield. That was a really good line, but then this led to a really cool action sequence in which Blaine just kills every single one of Mr. Boss's men. The only thing I hated about it was Robbie came in and saw Peyton crying in Blaine hugging her as Peyton was crying into his shoulder, and my only thought was like, my God, do not do a love triangle between these two. Just don't. You don't need a love triangle show. Just don't do it. It's gonna be so stupid. Is Peyton just gonna forget about the fact that this guy is a psychopathic murderer? I mean, he's a very charismatic one. Don't get me wrong, but he's still killed so many people, so many innocent people. So that's probably my only complaint is, and I can't even say it's a complaint really, because I don't know if they're going that direction with it, because this is the season finale and that's the last you see of them. But my God, do I hope they do not do a love triangle between Ravi, Peyton, and Blaine. But still, really awesome plot line there. But that was not the focus of this episode. This focus was Liv, Major, and eventually Clive going into Max Rager to get into the basement and free all the people from the freezer, and this was pretty freaking awesome, all this. Well, first, it was nice just to see how much Clive really does care about Liv for first Liv and Major planned to be the only two infiltrate Max Rager, but then Clive, once he doesn't hear word for them, goes in after them. So this led to a great climax in which basically they're inside Max Rager's lock-in party, and this was pretty violent actually, which the and then one of them turns into a zombie. So now my guess is next season will come up that Ravi now has another way of getting the zombie virus. So it seems to be a combination of Supermax and the Happy You. So that'll be interesting. But anyway, this led to just so many cool fight scenes of just seeing Liv, Clive just shooting up the Liv and Clive shooting up the zombies, and Major with an axe just hacking them to death. And you just gotta imagine how many people died. It's pretty violent. It was actually a really dark scene. This almost have something like a 28 Dawn of the Dead or 28 Days Later, like a really good zombie movie. Just like when the guy who has the key to the lock-in just runs away, like they all run to the gate and they can't get out, and then he's gonna open the door and then he sees all the zombies coming after the crowd, and then he just runs away and they're just basically eaten to death. That was pretty dark when you think about it. But anyway, still, and then this all led to a scene in which Major, Liv, and Clive are all stuck in a room with each other with the zombies trying to break in, and then Clive just says, "I'm gonna kill myself. I have 3 bullets. Okay, 2 for them, 1 for me." And then Liv just says, "No, Clive, I need to scratch you. I can't let you die." And Clive's like, "No, I really don't want to be a zombie. I'd rather be dead." And I was honestly wondering, was Clive gonna die this episode? Were they gonna kill Clive off? Thankfully they don't, because at the last moment, the person who's gonna buy Max Rager for the formula, shows up this private military woman, whatever her name was, and saves them. And then from there, the trio of Major, Liv, and Clive all head to the basement, in which this was pretty. They see the zombified Rita. Oh, and just rewinding a bit, there was a great scene before then when Vaughn was just talking to the zombified Rita and was just like, "Look, we'll find you a cure," and then years from now, when we both have millions upon millions of dollars, and your kids will be running, your kids and my grandkids will be running around, I don't know if you'll be able to have kids after you're cured, maybe not, who cares, they're adopted, who gives a shit. We'll be laughing about hey, remember the time I closed the door on you when a zombie was attacking? That was really good. But still, they find the zombified Rita, and basically from there, what happens is Clive and Liv get separated from the rest of the group, and Clive and Liv are in the room with the Super Romero zombies and the zombies from the freezer, and what was I gonna? And basically, what's going on is Vaughn was using the zombies from the freezer to try to find a cure and testing a cure, and those who it didn't work on turned into a super evil Romero zombie, and this led to a pretty dark scene in which just to psychologically torture just to see what happens, almost opens the door to the Romero zombies on Liv and Clive, who of course the zombies attack Clive, and the last one being of course Liv's boyfriend. And then before it can kill Clive, Liv just shoots him through the head. So that was pretty sad. But anyway, so then Liv, Clive, they get out, they escape, them and the zombies from the freezer, and then while that's all going on, Major and Rita, who are stuck in a room closed from but stuck behind a glass wall between themselves and Vaughn. Vaughn tries to gas them, and this led to a really cool scene when Vaughn raised his hand, then Major just pulls out a gun and shoots the guy straight through the hand. That was freaking awesome, and this all led to an insane finale. Just what a way to kill a villain, in which in which Major then breaks through the glass, and then because Vaughn can't get out because of the bullet through his hand, he can't keeps his hand down long enough to use the hand print's identification, and this led to a great. Pretty dark one climax in which Major goes inside the elevator and then says like, "Oh, you don't want to go out there. There's angry zombies and dangerous gas in there." And then the Major just uses the axe to pull himself up to the roof of escape hatch that elevators have, and then just Vaughn's like, "Major, pick me up, save me!" And then it almost looks like for a moment just Major is about to hand him is like holding the axe so he can pull himself up, but then he just drops the axe and then just says like, "Here, I'm giving you a fighting chance," and then essentially just Vaughn just gets ripped apart by the zombies, including his own daughter. And this was actually really dark, like when the elevator went back up and Liv and Clive were on the other side, and the door opens and you just see Rita just eating the guy's brains. That was really dark, but anyway, so then they kill Rita. I felt kind of bad for Rita dying. I was like, oh, did she really deserve such a terrible death? I mean, she wasn't a good person, but still, that was pretty dark. But I digress. And then when it seems like they're all alone, the military contractors, the private militia shows up and says like, "Don't worry, we have her from here," and don't seem to care at all that Clive's a detective. And then when Liv goes to investigate, she finds that the head of the militia army who were trying to buy Max Rager is actually a zombie, and all the soldiers are zombies. So are these guys villains? Are these guys heroes? Are they the big bad of next season? Is Liv gonna try and help them? Who knows? But really interesting place to end the season. Also, while that's going on, Major tries to find the woman the prostitute who was going to kill herself before he intervened and threw her in the freezer, and she doesn't seem to be around. And when he asked the people from the freezer like did you see her go anywhere? Like, and then one of them's just like, "Yeah, I saw her leave with a guy with a tattoo. Like, and who knows who that guy is?" And what happened to Mr. Boss? He was left out during this finale. So between the militia turning out to be zombies, whoever took the woman from the freezer, the fact that Major is still a zombie and that they need to find and if he doesn't take a cure he'll die, and another dose of the cure he'll die, and what's the last big one? Militia, and And what happened to Mr. Boss? Like, he was completely sat out of this finale. It'll be interesting to see what happens to him next season. They did a great job at closing Season 2 with a satisfying ending and really making you excited for where Season 3 is going. So, great way to close Season 2 of iZombie. This was a fantastic climax. I can't think of any issues I have with this, except for maybe, but like I said, I don't know if they are going this way. That it seems like they're saying about love triangle between Ravi, Blaine, and Peyton, which I just really don't want to see happen. That would just be really annoying. But besides that, though, still, what an action-packed finale. Felt like watching a really great zombie movie. I thought this was way better than Season 1 finale, just for the fact that this had no case of the week for the finale, and Liv and Clive were right in the middle of the action for this. Clive pretty much sat out of the rest of the climax of the first season, lives out most of it, but it was great to see all three of basically every character being part of their own climax. So great way to close the season. I love this episode, one of the best of the series. And yeah, check back in a few days. I'll have a Season 2 review up. YouTube, as always, please subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.